Well, my first question is obviously, I'm young, just building a credit score. It's just getting to 700, so I'm just trying to find my first deal, and I'm just wondering at what point, how do you get over that first like scared to act?
Yep.
Like you
so
feel
credit, you have credit cards and then you just put
Yes.
stuff on there, pay it off
Yes.
every month, and then
Yeah.
okay, and then getting over the fear. So like, what are you scared of?
I mean, it's just a lot of money when you're young. You just you start seeing the numbers, and you just, I guess, just freaking out. Especially where I am, like a really bad house is at about 250,000. Like would need renovations,
Yeah.
and like a livable house is like 400,000.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I don't know, Janesville you can find that for 100,000. So like in a bigger market, when the prices are high, I mean, you're still making huge, you're still buying stuff. So I guess, how do you justify it?
Well, I can justify it because I mean, like the small stuff right now, like duplexes around here and 4 units and stuff. There's not as much margin there because you just don't have the units, right? So when you have more units, plus then you can add value to each unit, right? Now you have more scale. So that's why I'm all about more scale. But so for you, what are you trying to what's your business plan? Are you looking for like a 3-bedroom house, a 5-bedroom house?
Like a 5-bedroom.
So like,
and then rent out
because
to
you're
buddies.
getting like, okay, I'm gonna start a single family, but how many bedrooms can I have, right? And then you're gonna, so then if your mortgage, just for example, is have you actually ran the numbers on like
a little
deal?
bit, yeah. It's like, so
What do you got?
for
You
a
have something written
5-bedroom,
down?
I don't have them written
Oh,
down,
okay.
but for a 5-bedroom house, they rent for like $5,000, like total
So
Well,
you'd be able to charge $1,000 a month.
per room,
per room.
almost. Yeah, depending on the condition of the house. So like for a really bad rental, it's like $650 a room,
Yep.
and it ranges up. I pay $125 for a room. I mean, $1,025
Right.
for a room.
So have you pegged those numbers then? Have you done
What do
them?
you like?
Have you like?
I haven't
through
done
those
any
numbers?
Excel or nothing, but yeah, it's
Like, because
definitely.
that's what you gotta do is figure out if is it even do it. Like, what's it look like?
Yeah, well, I could definitely break even. I probably wouldn't make money.
You don't want to do something to break even.
I mean, like, you're living for free.
Well, yeah,
And then eventually I do want to go into multifamily, obviously.
yeah,
But just to start, like, you bought a 4-unit to start, didn't you?
yeah. That's yep.
So, I
So
guess I've just gotten to the
let's just
point
do
where
this quick. Actually,
you're going to do the numbers.
I'm just gonna go right to
Zillow?
Minneapolis.
Or St. Paul.
How you wanna get
do you
your-
want the exact zip code?
Yeah,
55104.
55104.
Yeah. But the thing
So
is,
that's how
with
you
my
want to get your foot
school,
in the door, huh? Single fam.
so my school was a D3, and it's going D1. It transferred to D1, and they're running out of student housing on campus. They knocked down 2 residence halls and have put
Building
2 up.
towers.
So I'm wondering, like, even though the market's high right now, there's already a shortage of housing,
So 5+ bedrooms.
but it's just expensive.
So is this all? This is all within play.
So the campus is right there.
right here.
Yeah. So I'd be looking at a mile within
So like
here.
330 for a 5-bed, 515 for a 5-bed,
So yeah, it just depends on.
600 for a 5-bed.
But this Summit Avenue right here, that's
Yeah.
like the most expensive road in St. Paul.
So you want to be closer to that, or do you not care?
Just the area, probably, I guess, more this way. That's nicer stuff.
So like, is this the stuff you're looking at?
Yeah, but
Ish.
but more beat up. So because I'd like to do repairs like as I'm living in it
Yeah.
and do some sort of value add, or I could do a 3-bedroom and then find a way to add 2 rooms.
Right. So here's an example though. If you buy something, or if you go in and you're at 515. But then, so that's putting 100,000 down. That's putting 20% down. So with your property taxes, this is ballpark, right? Insurance, and then the mortgage, you're at about $2,600 a month. So you have some repairs and maintenance. But even on this house, actually, if you can charge, you think you can charge $1,000 a room, so you could be at
For that house,
$5,000
definitely
a
could
month.
charge $1,000 a room.
Yeah, like so this now the thing you want to be aware scared of too, or think about too, is it's college living. So like, are they gonna actually, if you buy something that's already like this, like is it, what's it gonna be like when you guys are done? Because I remember when I was in college, like we trashed the place. So that's something to think about here, because it looks like someone already went through and like redid this, right? And then you have to think about too is like, okay, on the exit, like when I exit properties, because I'm buying commercial buildings, I'm buying like, you know, the multifamily, multi-units, right?
Yeah.
Like Signature, right? We have 47 units there. So someone's going to buy that building based on how much cash flow is there and how much cash flow is thrown off. With this, your exit's going to be different, because most likely, not for certain, but most likely someone's just going to buy it based on the comps in the single family, right? They're not going to buy it on cash flow, because it's not necessarily, someone could use it as a business, but they'll have reason to use other comps, right?
Yeah.
So with multifamily, and the bigger that you get, the less it's based on comps, and the more it is on how that property actually performs.
I guess with this though,
So,
I wouldn't be necessarily.
and right now with the market being high in single family, like, okay, I don't know what it's going to do in the future. Like, how long are you going to hold it? 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, probably like 4.
So that's like, that has to be kind of some of the things that you have to think about if you go this route.
I guess I'd care more about just building equity to get into multifamily.
Right.
But I guess I'm not really concerned
Even
about
look at this one.
cash
This one looks
flow.
pretty nice for $329. See, this is something I'd probably I mean, you're getting in at a little bit better price. Yeah, it's 800 square feet smaller, you know. But you know, here if you can charge $1,000 a bedroom still, right? But once again, I would worry about some of this stuff depending who you're living with, because like our guys trashed the place.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just something to think about. What if you looked for multifamily at all, like smaller stuff?
A little bit, but it's pushing like a million
Yeah.
each. And that's like, I mean, it's doable, but for a first property, it's just a little scary, I guess.
Multifamily. That's not
That
it.
must be a condo.
Is this too far away from here? Oh, this must be.
Well, there's a lot of development happening right
Yeah.
now, like all over, just ripping down houses and throwing them up. That's what I live in now.
So what you gotta do is, like, literally what I would do if I were you is just go on Zillow, like we have right here, and like like I would even just do 4 bedrooms and just see where you're at, 4+, and do houses. You know, whatever, you can do all these, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then literally what I would do is just do it on all these, because it'll be a learning exercise.
Yeah.
And then like go through I can give you like one of my pro formas I use or whatever, and you can just plug in the numbers, so you can and just run the numbers, see what you get for
that'd be
rent,
great.
right? And then see where you're at for like repairs and maintenance. You'd have to probably put something in, like if a fridge breaks, whatever. And then like if you plan on holding it for 4 years, okay, well at that time, how much debt would I have left on it?
Yeah.
Right. And the cool thing is, like, because you'd be renting out those houses and you'd be living for free.
Yeah.
Like, well, so then you have to adjust the income, because if you take up 1 bedroom, then you're not. But
Yeah.
So that's just, and then what you have to look at though is on each different scenario, like look at like what the exit looks like, and do it if the houses keep appreciating like 3 to 5% per year, which is but then also like look at, okay, what happens if they go down 20%?
Yeah.
Like, do I still with how much debt that I have
Can I
off?
still make?
Can I still?
break even?
Is it still going to be worth it? Right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yep. That's fine. So that's what I would do, and I don't know if the single family, like,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of single family, but once again, like, you can find a, like, if that's how you get started. Like, I had a buddy in college that he did what you did, and he made really good money doing it. It was maybe potentially a little bit better timing, but we don't know that. This could still be great timing.
Yeah.
So, do you think, $1,000 a month, do you think that's also giving, like, it'll attract and keep your friends and buddies in there, or is that not competitive, or is that pretty competitive?
That's pretty competitive.
It's pretty competitive, especially
yeah.
for like a nicer place for
Yeah,
people to
so
live.
I live in a 925 square foot apartment, and like it's made to look pretty nice, but it's pretty cheap. Like it's
apartment grade.
Yeah, like it's like all the door handles like wobble, like basically almost falling off already.
So is that a
like,
1 bedroom you live in right now?
That's a 3 bedroom.
3 bedroom, and you each are paying $1,000.
Yeah.
What, 1,100?
Yeah, about. 1100 with parking. I don't have a car, so just 1,000.
And then utilities on top of that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So
it's separate. So
seeing like those expenses we looked at, that pretty much counted utilities. Now,
Yeah.
if you have 5-6 guys, maybe the water bill's a little bit more, maybe
Yeah.
electric's a little bit more than what they're projecting.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do those, because then just by like that's how what I did before like I really made an investment was I just started doing this and like looking and getting out and looking and then being creative. Like, okay, like what's
what
it
can
gonna
I do to make it work?
Yeah, how much is a snow removal gonna cost? How much is like someone to cut the grass? How much is that? What's my income gonna be? What's and then like know what your exit is.
And then that just kind of starts to build confidence naturally.
Yeah. I mean, see, and then the other thing you can do is you could go to LoopNet. What's the zip code again?
55104.
55104.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be anything. Nothing right there.
Yeah. And then I guess once you did your first couple,
53104.
55104.
55104.
I guess after you did how many deals did you do before you started like syndicating and scaling and?
I just want to pop this up quick.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes some of the sites aren't all the same. Where's the map? You see where the map is? Map view.
Oh God, no.
I don't either. There we go. Is this getting to be too far away? What is this bad boy?
I mean,
5 bed, 2 bath.
I would want to. The reason I'd want to be closer is because of the changes on campus right now. Because
Gotcha.
they just put $1 billion into the campus, so I'm thinking the places around it. I'm thinking they're gonna increase in value.
Yeah. See, these are all about the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would do, and I would start there. And then you'll kind of have an idea, but I always try to look at worst case. So like worst case, like once again, yours isn't going to be valued on how much cash is thrown off. Yours is going to be valued on even if that person, because like if I'm negotiating, like you going into negotiation, if someone's already renting that house out, you might be like, yeah, but there's a single family house right down the road for right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be that's just all the stuff you have to remember, and then be kind of conservative, and then. All right. So then, what was your next question? How many?
I guess. Once you started to like build a bit of a track record, when did you know that you were ready to be trusted with like other people's money? Like start just syndicating and scaling. When did you start doing that?
Well, so the very first deal, obviously, my family was involved, which I'm sure, like, if you find a good deal, like, your family help you, right? I mean, so that was how I did the first one. Obviously, I had success, and then like I talked about it. I posted like just like I'm doing now. I had a lot less of a following then, but I was like posting stuff still on Facebook, and people weren't watching, or people weren't liking or commenting, but people were watching.
Yeah.
So finally, I had the 4 unit, had the second 4 unit. And that was actually enough then when we bought the storage units to have enough of a track record where me and my buddy got my buddy's grandma to invest $60,000 into the storage units. Mm-hmm. And then kind of in that same time, there was another guy that, he sold a business for millions of bucks or whatever. And he came to me and said, hey, seeing what you're doing, like, and I kept kind of showing him too, like on my phone and stuff. So I would tell people what I was doing, right? Yeah. And he just came to me and said, hey, like, you find a big enough deal, I'll put money into it. You can have some equity. You can put money into it. You can manage it. You can take care of it.
And eventually it just
kind of... Yeah, and that's how that happened. Then, we started turning that thing around. And what did I do that whole time? Like, that property over in Delavan was, like, a wreck.
Yeah.
Right? But we started to, like, remodel apartments. And we remodel. I'd put it on Facebook. I'd put it on Instagram. I talked about the challenges. I talked about, like, what was going good, what was going bad. I was being transparent. And it just kind of kept growing, right? And then... I mean, really, the first one then when I attracted a lot of people was Signature. I think when your family got involved and then other people got involved as well, and then once again like you buy so that was a $2.7 million purchase, and then once again like rinse and repeat, right? Yeah. So now it's scaling, and I'm doing the same thing where I'm telling people about it, posting about it, and people just kept watching, So, like, the whole time in the back of my mind, like, everyone thought when I was doing Advocare to make money to save to then invest, everyone thought, oh, he's, like, a direct sales guy. Yeah. But in my mind, like, I didn't care what they thought of me, because in my mind, I'm like, I'm a real estate guy. Mm-hmm. I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Right.
I just thought you were
Right,
doing
and then
AdvoCare
I
too.
started buying, like that was the whole reason I was doing AdvoCare. Like my AdvoCare income's gone now.
Yeah. So when you came out of college, you knew you wanted to do real estate,
Mm-hmm.
but you just did AdvoCare just to
So
start
from
saving.
'09 to 2012, all I did was learn and start finding ways to make money. And once I started making money through AdvoCare, I saved it all. I started looking at investments. Right, for 3 years, I looked at investments, and I wasn't scared to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned, found a way to make money, save the money. Looked at deals. So then once I had the money, I didn't have to miss out on a good deal. I was ready to pull the trigger. I wasn't scared. I mean, going back to that first question, like you always wake up, like when we bought the 199 unit, I woke up, I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing, right?
Yeah.
But, I think it just kind of is a part of it,
So it never goes away. You just kind of.
It never really goes
trust
away
yourself.
completely.
Yeah.
I mean, the 96 unit that we bought, I mean, that's like such an unbelievable deal that like it's I feel like every deal we do is a no-brainer and gonna be a home run, but like that one was like such a no-brainer that I really woke up with no issues about that one. But but the whole time people thought, oh, he's a direct sales guy.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, I'm doing direct sales. I'm a real estate guy. I'm an investor, right? And then by the time people caught up and said, oh my God, like he's a real estate guy, I had already moved on, and I'm like, well, it's more private equity.
Yeah.
Because now I'm raising money, so now I'm getting paid for basically getting our investors paid, and for the properties performing well, we get more of a cut with each as we get their returns, right? So now it's a private equity guy that does real estate that got started in sales and can still sell, but then everyone's like, I don't think people realize I'm a private equity guy yet, but I've already moved on where it's like I'm like a media guy, like where I'm like, and I create my own breaking news, right?
For sure.
To attract attention, to then be able to use it in my business. Like if it weren't for business, I wouldn't post anything.
Yeah.
Because I just don't. I would probably post like once every 6 weeks.
You know? So once I do start, you'd say just start posting, like.
I mean and it wasn't like nothing was ever. It was just I was telling us. That's how I got to tell my story.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone that's successful has a story to tell. You have to be able to tell your story. And for me, I don't care how I tell the story. I just know it needs to get out there. So I don't care if it's TikTok.
Yeah.
Right? Like a lot of people at first were like laughing at older people starting to get on. I'm older now, 30, like getting on TikTok. I'm like, I'll get on it, because I know eventually that's for possibly
normal.
Right. So, but that was the same thing for me, like Instagram. I don't care. I don't care if it's on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever's next. Like I just want to use it for business.
Yeah.
Right. So that people know my story. Right. And I can't obviously tell, like the way the world is, like we're not just telling our story every single day. I mean, I do. Like it's the same thing when I'm in person. Like I tell my story, but Instagram is so that more people can see it, right? They can see the story, know what we're doing, know what we're about, and it's branding, right? I mean, like the 199 unit, we raised $6 million, and like literally it was like 25 days, because of the brand. It was the brand. It was all the work that I'd done before that. That then like, okay, here's the great deal, and once you find a great deal, and if people know that you can do it and execute on it, like they're gonna be in, right?
Yeah.
So it was a branding thing. So there's more to it than when you peel the onion back, right, and look down into it of what's going on, like here. And that's why, like before we turn the cameras on and stuff, I'm like, I need to hire people to like start doing it, because like I could literally just like it'd be like Fox News, CNN, it'd be like ESPN, like, and that's how I view it. So, and that's how I kind of always viewed it, even like 2012, 13. To wait for people to see what I'm doing.
So you've been 10 years. 10 years you've been doing this.
Yeah, so I started learning in 2009 when I was a sophomore, 2010, 11, and then spring of 2012 when I graduated was when I started direct sales, right? But I'm still like looking at deals that whole time, and then 2013 was when we bought the first deal. Bought the second deal in 2014. Bought the 64 unit, the 40 unit, the 24 unit, the 88 unit, the storage units in 2016. 2017 we did nothing because that was a lot to bite off, and like we had to corral it, and we started the property management company that year because we got screwed over by another property management company.
Is it better to do it in-house?
From our experience, yes. I know guys that do it, and I think that also helps me raising dollars because they know that I'm active. There's a lot of people right now, because real estate's the thing, that they'll just raise money and then they think the job's done, and there's a lot of people I think that are going to lose money for that, because right now deals are harder to find. They don't care because they just want to find a deal and
Like as fast
raise
as possible. Yeah.
raise money, and then they think, oh, now that we have the deal's done, and really that's when the actual work starts. When we
Yeah.
closed the 199 units November 4th, like that was when the real work started.
Because then you're doing all the
Yeah,
improvements.
yeah. Because if
Yeah.
we don't perform, then like I'm not gonna get paid hardly anything, and obviously in our investor we pit like, so.
Does most of your profit come from getting occupancy up, or does it come from redoing the units?
Our occupancy
slowly?
is usually the work for the first 3 years.
Yeah.
It depends. First 18 months to 3 years that we own a deal, our occupancy is usually the worst in the area.
That's isn't that because you're redoing
Because we're redoing a
half
lot of
the
it,
units?
and we also do it at a pace that like we're paying out distributions along the way, right?
Yeah.
Like Signature's the only one that we waited a full year there to start, so we start paying constant distributions like starting in October, September.
Yeah.
But so we do it along the way. So we're using funds that we close with up front, but also cash flow, and then we're not vacating an entire building
Yeah.
and then going to do the entire building today. So like right now over at the 199 unit we have like 22 vacant over there. We're like 87%
Yeah.
occupied, which in that area I don't know this for sure, but I'm willing to bet it's the worst occupied. But
Yeah.
like we're still paying distribution. Like we're doing 3 remodels right now, and then the rest of them being partially remodeled, right? So we'll be ready for spring leasing, and
Yeah.
like at Signature right now we're paying distribution. We have 6 vacant.
Yeah.
We bought that place, so in September of 2018 when we bought it, the rents there, the revenue each month was about 23 to 25,000, something like that, and this month we'll be at 40,000, and we have 6 vacant still.
Yeah.
So imagine like once we're done, like
Yeah.
and we're still taking some of that cash flow, like we're still paying a decent distribution, but a lot of that cash flow that we can't distribute right now, that in the future we'll be able to, because it's going back into the property, right?
Do you have a problem with like the not as nice units, and then so you have the nicer units that you just redid? Does anyone
Sometimes.
Yeah. Does anyone ever throw a fit that they're paying
I mean,
much more in
yeah,
the same
like everyone's
building?
gonna like always complain about something, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you're always, but like, and you're gonna get called. Like there's random people that get mad at you and call you whatever, right? But that's just a part of like 50% of the people are gonna hate you anyway,
Yeah.
right? And so you just have to. For me, like I'm at peace with it because I know 50% of the people are always gonna hate me.
Mhm.
I'm never gonna get everyone to love me or like me.
Yeah.
I have a job to do for our investors and myself, and my family, and my intent is right.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it's taking time, and there's some people that are like, oh, my rent's too high for the condition it's in. They have the right to move.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't have to re-sign the lease.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's how I make it right with me. I don't care what other people. I don't care what other people say, and that's something that you'll have to learn too, because there'll be people that we're similar backgrounds and stuff like that. I mean that you'll get crap from people, and it'll be from all different angles, and
Yeah.
and you just like, okay, thanks, cool.
Mhm.
It doesn't, their opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And then I guess final thing is just biggest mistakes from like very beginning. Is there anything that you like did that you were like, oh,
The
I
88
didn't
unit that
change
we bought, I did not consider like if we had to put on a new roof. I didn't consider if the boilers broke. I didn't. I just said let's buy the deal and like and we'll figure it out, because like I just didn't have the experience to really understand, right?
Yeah.
So that one, like, that was a big wake up call when like all the roofs needed to be done.
Okay.
I was like, oh damn, like how are we gonna like
Yeah.
all the boilers need to be done, right? Like we put in $1.2 million into that property. We figured it out, right? If that was a 30 unit or if that was a 16 unit, we probably wouldn't have been able to make it happen.
Yeah.
But because it was big enough, once again you have scale.
Mhm.
It's so much. It
gets easy.
it made it to the point where like the bigger it is, the banks look at it like more of an actual real business.
Yeah.
Like my dad has a business, your dad has a business. They look at it as a legitimate business.
Yeah.
A single family home, they will not. The bank
Oh, yeah.
won't look like it's a business, even if you're renting out
Mhm.
the 5, 4 unit, same type of thing, like 16
Yeah.
unit, like. So because we had that much scale and the apartments improved enough, we were able to, the bank's like, yeah, no problem. Here's, and they gave us more cash as a loan to be able to just do the things that we needed to do. And now it's like, we bought that for $6 million, and now it's worth, the appraisal was like 8.3
Yeah.
or something. 3 years later. So, and the revenues are up there like crazy. The NOI is up there like crazy. and we still have in there. That's another example. We're 89% occupied right now.
Yeah.
And we've done that like, and we still, you know what I mean? It's like, what's it gonna be like once we're like kind of complete, and and we're getting, we have like $450,000 worth of projects going on there right now, and like once those ones are done, it's gonna be basically almost like a brand new property.
Yeah.
So.
Are you running renovations like on almost all your properties at the same time?
Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, it's
And
logistically.
You manage.
So I was, but it's like in order to grow the company, I hired a chief operating officer.
Yeah.
So she's like kind of, and I still, and because there's so much, and like we're growing, and we've changed, we let go of like almost our entire company and everyone that was working because they weren't willing to take us to the next level.
Yeah.
And so like we've rehired, and so it's just been a lot going on. So I still help, but she's doing the bulk of it, and then that
So
allows
you're
me.
delegating stuff out.
You have to,
Yeah.
when you're doing like, I mean, I know guys that aren't at 400 units or 500 units. I'm like, their life just must suck. Because like I'm most happy when I feel like we're having progress, and the only way I can have progress is with people.
Yeah.
Because if I was doing this by myself, or if you cut how many people we had in half,
Yeah.
like. So but then that's also an investment, because then now our property management company is not actually where all of our employees sit. It's not actually profitable. It could be, because I could let go of some people, but then once again my life would be hell, right? So like I don't need to make $500,000 a year for my property management company. That's not my goal. The property management company is the infrastructure to be able to manage all this stuff, right? If you buy all these assets, you can't manage them, then they're not worth anything.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how I view it.
And then I guess, out of curiosity, when you first bought that 4-unit, did you think like you were gonna start doing all this stuff? Like
I was telling people then,
you
like,
did?
someone was like, "Oh, you bought a 4-unit," and they're like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna have 50,000 units," and they started laughing, and I'm like, "No, really."
That's
like,
what you want to do. Okay.
Yeah. So like I didn't think I don't know what I just, like I said, I focus on like what I have to do every single day. I have my big goals and targets and where I want to be. And then like if you just put the work in, I tell people all the time, I'm probably more like 55 or 60 years old with how much work I've put in the last 7-8 years based on hours, right? Maybe not that old, maybe like 52. But like it's a lot of experience and a lot of work done and accomplished in that time. And I'm not scared to like make mistakes, right? Like, because a lot of times I truly believe that like we make a shit ton of mistakes around here, like a lot. Like it's a train wreck some days around here. But the thing is, by the time the other person finally makes a decision on what to do, we've already made 4 mistakes in that area. Yeah. And then able to find the solution.
Yeah. Still no.
Right. So like we make a decision fast, but then we also can change our direction and change fast.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy, but like you could be wrong 4 times in the span of a week. And at the end of the week, you have the solution, and now you have the solution forever going forward. Versus the person that like sits there and like thinks about it for a month before they made their first decision, right? Yeah. You're better off being wrong early than adapt it and go through the things that suck to implement the change, to then benefit from that change the rest of the 3 weeks of that month, right? So now imagine doing that over 7 years, right? Yeah. Finding out the mistake, like, so we make mistake, like it's like a shit show around here some days, right? And but that's how I just like, you can't do something wrong enough long enough. Yeah. Right? Now we're not going out and just buying any deal and be like, oh, it's a mistake. We'll learn, because there's some that can just like debilitate you for a long time, right? Yeah. But for 99% of the things, like it's okay to make a mistake as long as you just say, hey, like I have no ego when it comes to like I made a mistake. Yeah. And if someone says, hey, we should do it this way, and if I really think they're right, like I have no issue doing it a different. Like I solely want the result and like the solution. I do not care really how we get there, whose idea it was, or whatever. If my idea is trumped or my idea sucks, I'm not going to stick with my idea just because of an ego or pride. Like I want the result, and that's probably where my ego or pride is in the result, not in like how we actually get there. So yeah. That makes sense a little bit. That totally. You've learned a lot though. You can tell just by like, because I know we talked maybe like a year ago we were in here or whatever, and you can just tell. No, it's good. How that because you did the internship down in Florida, right? Yeah. So getting your license. I mean, and then the biggest thing for you too is just like meet as many people as you can. Like St. Thomas, like I mean, there's it's a pretty good university and stuff like that. And then you're in Minneapolis, like just meet people. Like that's and tell them what you're interested in doing. It's like you already have a story, even though you don't have anything.
Yeah.
You don't have anything yet. Like you already have a story, and like you already know what you want to do,
Yeah.
and you just tell everyone like what you want to do, what
Yeah.
you're doing, and
So that's like the point like I'm talking about is I feel like I know enough what I'm doing to where like I need to put it to action.
right.
And like the more I don't put it to action, I just like
Yep.
I just feel like a sitting duck. Like
Yep.
I like
Yep.
I feel like I'm ready. I know I'm ready. I
Yep.
just need to find something to
And
buy.
that'll never really go away either.
Yeah.
Because like if you just love what you're doing, and once you find whatever little niche that is or route, like you always want to be like advancing and growing,
Uh-huh.
and you know,
Yeah.
it's like working out. Like you don't want to go work out and have no progress,
Mhm.
right? Like you want to be consistent in your workouts, and
Yeah.
you see progress. Then it's still fun to go back. Like these last 3 months, it sucked me working out. So now it's like
Yeah.
it sucks going to the gym right now because I'm
Yeah.
not seeing progress yet. So I just have to keep like going
Yeah,
again.
keep going.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's addicting.
But it's
addicting.
yeah, and so, and I mean those principles like they you know they should be aimed like across your entire life too. You aim them towards your business, but then like just life in general and
Yeah.
everything, and improving and progress and all that stuff. So
Sweet, dude. Thank you.
you bet.
I appreciate
What else
it.
you got?
I mean, I guess like that's really it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just in the phase where I just like I need to buy something.
Just make sure it's the right thing, and
Yeah.
you know, and that's the only thing I'd be worried about when you're looking at the single family, is what that exit looks like.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, odds are it'd probably be fine, right? But at the same time, it would just suck if like you have like 4 years from now, 5 years from now, single family market looks completely different. Now, will it up there? I don't know.
Yeah.
It could double in 4 or 5 years too, but it also could be cut in half. And if it's cut in half, what does it look like?
And am I still like okay? So just really dig into worst case scenario.
look at the worst case, look at the best case, but then look at like what's most likely to happen.
Yeah, like
Right, so
reality.
I always like crush like our projections just because like I'm pretty conservative. Like I look at like how bad something can do and we still make it.
Yeah.
And if like we still make it and just barely, or like it'd be a disappointment, but we still make it through, I'm like, oh, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because if it's like the worst thing that happens, you still just barely kind of make it, and people are
Yeah.
like a little bit like, oh, that wasn't that great. But then the best case scenario is like, holy crap, it's like life changing. And then like what's most likely to happen, if that's like pretty good odds, I'm like, well, why would I not do this?
Yeah.
Right.